Alright, something really weird happened here. There's a cicada. It's only, as you can see on screen, it's 6:26. According to my list, the cicadas don't show up till July. So I guess they do have a sort of mechanic to just sort of ease in certain bugs before July even starts, I guess. Late June, cicadas start showing up. That's kind of cool. But it means we can go ahead and catch this cicada. That's a robust cicada. I believe there's 2 different types of cicadas to find in the month of July. Let me just double check. 3 different types. There's 3 different types of cicadas. I think the green one is the only one. I've actually seen it a couple times already today. But I didn't, I accidentally scared it away both times, so I wasn't able to catch it. I was like, well, if I catch it, I'll start my recording. I wasn't gonna record today, but I don't know, there's a couple stuff that's happened. I cleaned out my basement a little bit. I'm here mostly to buy turnips, and I participated in the fishing tourney as well. I caught a 27-inch fish today, which is the biggest fish so far. It beats all of the records, so 26-inch was the biggest for all 3 days. So this is the 4th day. So 27-inch, nobody's caught that before. I don't know if that's the largest possible. There might be, maybe there's bigger, but I only won the 1 day, the second tourney, and then Blair won both other days, but every single one of those fish was 26 inches. Their horrid caterwauling is awfully irritating, you know, about as musical as a train wreck, eh, what? Sure that the cicadas have quite valid reasons for such boisterous behavior, but I dare say there are limits. They have those membranes on their abdomens which vibrate to create those disturbing tones. Odious. Whew, but I digress. You have our deepest, most profound gratitude. Yeah, so I think we've got this fishing tourney kind of in the bag. We've also, I need to retain the perfect town, so I've already worked on that today. I'm just planting flowers, as long as it tells me I still have a perfect town. And yeah, I'm just catching fish, just kind of like trying to buy as many turnips as I possibly can before noon. Just because I can. But I'm actually looking for Joan right now. So turnips today are 82 bells per. So they're really pretty cheap. I should be able to make a good profit. I don't know where she is, though. I've been looking around for a while. I'm just gonna buy 100 bottle. I'm getting up to 8,200 bells and then just buying 100 turnips. And then just rinse and repeat. So I go catch fish. Buy some more turnips. You know, is what it is. Pretty fun. So I've caught some gyroids. I haven't been including those. I've been digging up some gyroids. I realize they're not that too terribly interesting, so I'm gonna not, like, only really include me getting something if it's, like, somewhat interesting. Otherwise, I don't really need to include myself getting something really basic or lame or dumb, but all the gyroids are, you know, who cares? They're not the most interesting thing. So just know that I am getting some. I'm just not... Oh, you can see my basement as well. I've sold a bunch of stuff that I don't really want anymore to keep around. I also bought some wallpapers and stuff. Usually I just throw gyroids down and decide if I want to keep them. Oh, that's a nice one, actually. I kind of dig him. He's a drum. He's a timpanoid. Not bad. I am going to have to remember to go see Red tonight. I'm hoping for a painting or an NES console. More so paintings would be better. I definitely need more of those. But it's not the most... Like, I don't know. I'm not worried about it just yet. It's, you know, I would like to get them quickly, but, you know, is what it is. If I don't get them, then I don't get them, and whatever. By the way, I bought a coffee maker, and I'm like super thrilled about it. I bought like a Black & Decker, because I had like a Keurig machine, but I wanted to be able to make coffee, and so I think I asked for it for Christmas or something, and my parents bought it for me. That was like a few years back. And there's a couple issues with it. Like, you have to use the K-Pods, right? You have to consistently go out and buy the K-Pods, which you can only buy them in, like, packs of 10 and 12. 10 or 12. There's those jerks that put, like, a 10-pack out, and there's literally just 2 missing. It's like, why couldn't you just put 12? All the boxes are the same size. You could have put 2 more in there. You're being cheap. And so, there's a couple problems with it. One, it's not, like, the easiest thing to clean. For example, I think everything gets kind of grimy after a little while, like, all of the tube, everything that the water runs through. And then the top of it as well is, like, not perfectly made. So, like, sometimes if you like, close the thing too early, like, water can sit in there, and then it gets a little gross. That one was really hard. Oh, I caught another guppy. Hell yeah. That's a rare fish. Let's go. Still trying to get that large char. Still haven't gotten it yet. It's so rare. But, like, one of my biggest issues with the Keurig was, like, I could only make 1 cup of coffee. Like, it only makes 1 cup of coffee, you know? So, like, what if I'm, like, working on something? Sometimes when I work, it's like I'm given some problem that I'd like to be able to solve, like, in the morning. Like, if I can finish something in the morning, that'd be great. In order to do that, usually I like to have some coffee. Sometimes I need 1 coffee, sometimes I need multiple. Sometimes I need, like, 2 or 3 cups of coffee, like, all together, Most of the time I need more than 1 cup. And it's like with a Keurig, I can make 1 cup of coffee, and then I have to go through the whole process again to make another cup of coffee. And I'm like, well, like, it would be so much better to just have a coffee maker that can make a whole pot of coffee, right? Then you just have as much coffee as you need, and, like, it's, like, easy, So that was part of the reason I decided to get a coffee maker. The other reason was I asked for my birthday, I had, like, an Amazon wish list, and one of the things I put on it was this stuff I saw on Amazon. It's called, like, Death Wish coffee, which I thought was going to be more interesting than it was. I should say, I've drank 1.5 cups already, so I'm probably, like, really sounding very, like, hyper. I don't really know. But I found out that it is actually a type of coffee that's, like, you can buy pretty much anywhere. It's not even really special. I thought it was interesting because it says, like, Death Wish, world's strongest coffee. And I'm like, that sounds cool. I'll put that on my wish list. We'll see if I get that someday. And my sister bought it for me for my birthday. Because I gave them my Amazon wish list with all my stuff on it. And so she bought me that. And, I've tried it. Well, the thing was, I thought it was instant coffee for some reason. I was not, like, super clear about coffee. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's like an instant coffee. No, it's coffee grounds. It's ground coffee. So you have to have, like, a coffee machine in order to make it. And I didn't have one, so I had to buy one in order to make it. So now I have one. I will say, I don't know exactly, it says world's strongest coffee, and I'm, like, wondering if that's in relation to its flavor, or if it's supposed to be in relation to its caffeine content. I think if I had to guess, it's probably more in relation to the caffeine content. Because it is not, like, a very strong flavor at all. I've definitely had a much stronger flavored coffee than this. But I would believe that it's going to make my heart burst. Maybe. I think that's what they're talking about, which makes me a little bit worried about it, because that's not how I read it initially. How I read it initially was like strong flavored coffee, and I'm like, oh well, I'd love to try really strong flavored coffee, but like, I'm basically buying like a Monster energy drink or something. I don't actually know. I should probably read the label and see if it has any warnings, like, oh, don't have more than like 2 cups of this. You might die. Because I know Monster does that, right? They have the like, they have to put on the label like limit 2 cans per day, It might be limit 3 cans. Like, they're like, definitely don't drink more than this. Or you might just die. Like, that's real, too. That's very real. Man, I miss the days when I could just drink Monster and, like, it didn't matter at all. I used to drink Monster all the time. I was, like, addicted to it. All through from, like, middle school to high school, even into college, I would have a Monster every single day. Every single day, that's how I would start my day, is just with a Monster. I tried, when I got to, when I graduated college, I switched to coffee because it was literally free coffee that they had, that you could go get. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll just drink the coffee then. I don't need to buy, like, Monster. Even though I still like Monster, and I still, you know, early on, I think I still kept with drinking it. It's super freaking addictive, man. Even now, every now and again, I crave a Monster, and it's just like, my favorite thing, I think that's why it was, is because some of my favorite memories, I say this, these were like, my favorite memories of being by myself, specifically, not with other people. My favorite memories of, like, being alone. I'm trying to make this sound not pathetic. I have other memories with other people, but this one specifically, like, by myself, one of my favorite things I liked to do as a kid, or when I was younger, was I would take a Monster, or usually a Monster import, and I would, like, drink it, and I would stay up all night, right? I would pretty much just stay up all night, and I would play some video game or something, and I would just do that. I'd walk up to the gas station, buy a Monster, maybe some Skittles, maybe some jerky. I don't know. I did buy jerky. I used to buy the pepper jerky, the I think Jack's Links or whatever. Pepper jerky, that was like my favorite. I needed it to be a little bit spicy. Gosh, it's so nice. It was so like peaceful, you know. That was the thing. It's like just that walk to go to the gas station. Like, I would do it at like 9 o'clock. You're just walking through, like, dark streets, and it's, like, nobody's around, a couple people driving around. It's just really quiet. And it was just a nice vibe. I think I've fallen in love with that vibe, you know? That's, like, my favorite vibe of just, like, peaceful, nobody around, not much in the way of sound, maybe some, like, background noise. But just, I think that's why I like the nighttime so much. That's 11 now. I have one more hour. I'm gonna make this a long episode. I don't care. I'm gonna talk forever. I'm bored. I'm bored. I was gonna stream yesterday, and then I didn't. I didn't stream. Not really sure why. I don't know. Actually, I think it's because I got really tired around like 10 o'clock. Actually, no, that was part of it. Was like I hung out with my friends on Friday, and I think we stayed up almost until when I got back. I didn't go to sleep until like 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m., 2:40, maybe even closer to 3. So we were up pretty late. We were drinking a bit. So I was like kind of a little tired on Saturday, but I kind of thought I'd be okay. But I was just exhausted by like 10, and so I kind of passed out at 10 o'clock, woke back up, and it was like midnight, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna try to sleep some more. So that's what I did. And now I'm just kind of groggy, but you know, I know that I've gotten more than enough sleep, so not worried about it. But that's partly why I didn't stream yesterday. Is I thought about it, and then like by the time I was gonna do it, I didn't have time. It was like, I don't know, it was like 8:30 I think, or like 9 o'clock when I was like, oh well, maybe I should stream now, and then I was like, well, no, probably shouldn't. It's a little late to start a stream. Anyways, I was talking about vibes. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, just walking through like quiet streets, nighttime with just lamp posts, just lighting it, hanging out, you know, vibing, just walking. No one around. That's like, I love that time so much. It's just so nice. Some people might not like it as much. It might seem dangerous, but I feel like it's perceived more as dangerous now than when I was younger. Like we used to walk everywhere as kids, no matter what time. Like nobody cared. It didn't so much matter. Yeah, I don't know when that changed exactly. But I don't think anybody trusts their kids to just walk around unsupervised. Like I remember Halloween. It's like that, you know, Halloween, you get to middle school or even like 4th or 5th grade. Like you're old enough to walk around by yourself on Halloween, you know? I do wonder if that's still allowed. If parents are like comfortable with that nowadays. I don't really know, but I was thinking about that last Halloween. Yeah, actually, the strange thing is, like, the older I get, the less acceptable I guess it is for me to, like, wander sort of by myself. Which is really weird, and I suppose it's something people don't necessarily experience as much. Or they just don't talk about it because, like, it's something you just, like, oh, you feel it out. And you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like, you can walk around, like, downtown, but, like, as a kid, okay, I used to walk, like, I'd walk around the neighborhood. It'd be dark. Like, if I don't have a dog with me, it's like people think it's weird, you know? So like you walk around, I'd walk around the neighborhood, and sometimes, you know, we used to take this like specific shortcut, which technically cut through some people's backyards. And I think they would yell at us every now and again, but like it was the quickest way to get to the park. Because you would just, like, cut through the trees, and you'd end up in another neighborhood. Otherwise, you had to go all the way around. You'd, like, take a loop of, like, 3 blocks. I don't know. You had to go the other direction just to go around. It was terrible. So that was, like, the quickest way, and then the library was there in the park. So I used to go that way all the time, and I would walk through there. I would go walk through the park. I used to walk through the park after dark all the time. And then there was one day... They're like, you know, they had a ranger that was like, oh, you can't. You're not allowed to. People aren't allowed to walk through the park after like 11. I was like, when the hell did that happen? People used to walk through the park all the time. Like, is it like what? People can't walk through the park after dark now? Like, I'm like, it's weird. I used to see people in the park all the time, and I know I did. I know I did. Maybe it wasn't it couldn't have been 11. It had to have been after like 9. Because it wasn't that late, I think. Because I was with my sister the one time we got yelled at. Because we were going to McDonald's. We wanted to walk to McDonald's. And yeah, he wouldn't even let us go to McDonald's. Like, this is the thing. Is like, we were like halfway through the park. And McDonald's is literally on the other side of the park. Like, so if he just let us go the other way to exit the park. Oh shit, that was the other cicada. That was a different cicada. Ooh, I could have caught that. Like, we would have been able to get the McDonald's, and then, like, he could have just been like, okay, well, just don't, like, walk back through the park. You know, it's like, we're already halfway through. Like, what does it matter if we just go the other way? You know? It's like, either way, we're going the same distance. He's like, no, you have to turn around. You have to go back. Like, screw you, man. What an asshole. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the experiences that you're like, oh, we can't, like, go. Like, if you can't go through the park at 9 p.m., what can you do? You can walk the sidewalk. But then again, like, I've had, like, it's another thing. It's like, I've had cops called on me for walking around. It's like the older you get, the more suspicious you look just wandering around after dark. I think it's also more of a guy problem. I guess girls don't really walk around after dark just for other reasons, but as a guy, you just look suspicious. People just call the cops on you. They're like, hey, he's probably trying to steal from cars. It's like, what the heck, man? I'm just walking. I live right there. I've walked through here a million times. Where the heck is this stupid frickin' warthog or whatever she is? She's so freaking hard to find. I wish she would just sit in one spot. Like, why she gotta wander the town? It's like it's like, yeah, I don't know. It sucks. But now I realize, like, I can't do that anymore. Because I just, you know, you get the cops called on you. They're like, well, kind of suspicious for you to wander around at night. Like, why? Why is it suspicious? What's suspicious about it? It's weird. People don't do that. Well, they don't do it because they get the cops called on them. That's why they don't do it. People say it's suspicious for some reason. That's annoying. I don't know. There's just so many rules that keep being made about stuff that you can do.